Hello, I'm in Manchester and this is the M60 motorway, the closest thing we've got to an orbital motorway. No, the M25 isn't an orbital motorway, but anyway, today we aim to answer the question of which way around the M60 is faster by way of a race around the monumental monstrosity that is the M60 motorway. Welcome back to the channel Stunt Double. Where have you been? The plan is that I'll head around the M60 in junction number order while Stunt Double goes in the opposite direction, with us both ending up right back here where we started. It is 5:30, therefore rush hour. Did you notice I don't have a watch? Let's begin. We're going to do a Le Mans style start just for the lols. The cars are just up there, so if you are ready, Stunt Double is ready. Is everybody ready? So in 3, 2, 1, go. See you, mate. No, he's got no chance. Here we go. See ya! And red lights. I absolutely smashed Stunt Double there. He had no chance. And now we go our opposite ways onto the M60. Oh, I don't know if you can see in the camera. Yes, you can. He's just there. He's just f***ing there. Hi, Stunt Double. Bye, oh, no, he's beating us. Wait, no. Bye, mate. And on to the M60 we go. Junction 1 all the way around back to Junction 1. Absolutely. And did you know that Junction 1 is also known as the Pyramid Roundabout? Unsurprisingly, because of the pyramid, now the largest Indian restaurant in the country, but I digress. So I'll be heading in a clockwise direction, following the junctions in order, whereas Stunt Double will be going in the opposite direction, and somehow we've managed to ensure that our race distance is the same at 35.3 miles. So it's going to come down to whatever hazards or traffic issues the motorway dishes up, and as you may know, the M60 can be unpredictable at the best of times, so I've no idea how this will turn out. I am of course planning to win. In previous events I haven't necessarily done so well, but hopefully today things will be different. The first hurdle that I've got to deal with is junctions 3 and 4, which is basically a massive mess of slip roads where you've got the M60, the M56 and the A34. The whole interchange was designed in the 1960s, although interestingly the original plan was far simpler. It was going to be a 3-level stacked roundabout type interchange, which may actually have been a better solution. Probably not actually. It turns out that none of the M60 is a better solution, and ever since its opening it's been operating at full capacity, although at the moment it seems to be fairly light for traffic, but it's still early days. Stunt Double isn't doing too bad either, now approaching junction 25 or the Bredbury interchange, whilst no doubt wishing the Auto Shenanigans company vehicles were that lovely Porsche 911 4S. Be sure to like and subscribe, and maybe one day we'll get him one. Anyway, we'll talk about the Bredbury interchange later, since I'll be passing anyway, but what Stunt Double may not know is that he'll soon be making his way along the newest section of the M60, having opened in the year 2000, which interestingly is the only section of the M60 actually planned to be the M60. Much like the M25, the M60 is a bodge and stitch up of various motorways that were cancelled, unfinished, or just renumbered because somebody changed their mind. Other than the aforementioned newer section, I say that loosely, the M60 was planned to be the M62, the M63 and the M66. It was never supposed to be the M60. The M60 was going to be a completely different motorway built elsewhere, but it wasn't. I'm just passing through Junction 8 or the Carrington interchange, and had the M60 or whatever motorway it was going to be been built to plan, this would have been a much larger interchange to allow said motorway to pass through. Meanwhile, Stunt Double seems to be having a fairly straightforward drive. The newest section of the M60 is also the quietest, relatively speaking, and this means Stunt Double has gained the upper hand, moving into pole position. However, things might change once he passes junction 20, because you're then at the mercy of one of the M60's most notorious junctions, the sinister Simister Island, which isn't an island, and it can create queues that are 3 to 4 miles long. But before that, I've got the Worsley braided interchange to negotiate, which is a huge interchange consisting of the M60, the M61, the A666M and the A580, which are all connected in a rather lovely free-flowing manner. If I had my way, every interchange would be built this way. Who cares about space for things like houses and schools? Waste of time. Coincidentally, something you do a lot of at the Worsley interchange, because the traffic is terrible. Maybe we shouldn't build all of the junctions like this. I don't know, I'm conflicted. In any case, once you've got the Worsley interchange out of the way, you get to join the traffic on the approach to Simister Island. Yes, it's a couple of miles away, but that's just how it is. However, before then, we've got junction 17. However, before then, we've got the official halfway point. Which is sort of in the lovely Phillips Park in Prestwich. It's named after the family that owned it from 1799 to 1948, at which point they sold it to the local council, only for the M60 to smash its way through everything 20 years later. But as we can see, it was totally worth it. But whilst I've been enjoying the view, what I didn't notice is that Stunt Double had been busy fighting his way out of a traffic-heavy Simister Island to reach and cross the halfway mark before me. So at this stage, I am a loser who now has to deal with the infamous Junction 18. You can see why it's known as Sinister Island. The junction is a massive pain in the arse. However, it has to be said that whilst it goes unnoticed, Junction 17 also has a part to play, because it either adds traffic or creates queues when heading in the opposite direction, all of which have a knock-on effect. Luckily, after decades of bullshittery, National Highways have announced their intentions to solve the sinister Simister Island problem forever. Probably. The most exciting feature of their plans is a new loop structure that, when completed, will allow for a connection between the M60 and the M60, bypassing the roundabout that makes up the junction. Hang on, if it's all the M60, why have we got a roundabout in the first place? Don't forget, the M60 as we know it is made up of previous motorway plans. In the case of Simister Island, the motorways were going to be laid out a little bit like this, so having a roundabout interchange probably made more sense, but somebody changed their mind, creating a problem that today we need to spend a rather large sum to fix with that new loop structure. With work starting in the summer of 2026, it should all be finished when it's ready and not a moment sooner. Brilliant. Anyway, with me past Simister Island, I'm now doing the reverse of what Stunt Double has already done, so hang on. Yeah, I've written enough script, so we can skip along a bit. Although that's the interesting part. Whilst yes, I'm now doing the reverse of the section Stunt Double has already done, and vice versa, because we're heading in the opposite directions, will the same problems exist? You never know, Stunt Double may get held up at the Worsley interchange or any of the other ball ache bits that we've already discussed. Of course, it's the same for me, but as it is at the moment, this is okay. Lane change. When I say Stunt Double might get held up at the Worsley interchange, I meant he will get held up. Observe as his stellar progress comes to a grinding halt, jeopardising his chances to take the win. Oh dear, sorry about that. It was all going so well. But this is the nature of the unpredictable M60, whereas for me, things were looking pretty good. My favourite M60 secret of the motorway, that's a good idea for a video, but my favourite secret of the motorway is just coming up at the Bredbury interchange. I did say we'd discuss it as we passed. Here we find a pair of ghost slip roads that point in the direction of a motorway that wasn't built. This one would have most likely been numbered as the A6M, and it would have continued through the interchange to connect up to the A6 just to the south of Stockport and Manchester. Interestingly, if you take a look on Google Maps, you can see a strip of trees between some houses, which is actually land allocated for the motorway's construction. Lane change. Meow, meow. It's also why today the M60 does a weird thing by splitting into two slip roads, because none of it was planned to be the M60, it just ended up that way. Anyway, with me at Junction 25, I've got just 2 more junctions to get through, and then it's Junction 1, where I shall exit the motorway, park up and run to the finish line. Checking in on Stunt Double reveals he's made it past the Worsley interchange, but making very slow progress through heavy traffic. Right, the race is on. We've had a lovely motorway chat, but I need to win this one because, Well, there's a first time for everything, isn't there? So observe as I plant my foot to the floor and continue to match the speed of the vehicle in front whilst maintaining a safe gap, because what else can I do? But will that be enough? Stunt Double has cleared the traffic, avoided that taxi, good job, and is making up for that lost time in ways that only a Stunt Double knows how. My only hope is that the messy slip road junctions 3 and 4 deliver a last-minute traffic jam, giving me just enough time to get there first. No, looks pretty clear, actually. I don't know how much of this driving I can include in this video. I'm trying, though, trust me. Yeah, there's other cars overtaking me. I must be doing the speed limit. I'm just coming up to junction 1 now. I've got 200 yards to go. I've just got to go through the wonderful Stockport Viaduct. One of the largest brick structures ever, apparently, or something like that. I don't know. Who cares, though? I need to focus my attention on getting to the finish line, where I shall park up and run back to the bridge where we started. I'm out of breath already and haven't even got there. And neither had Stunt Double, but he wasn't far off, having also arrived back at junction 1. Yeah, you're all good, mate, and no, you're not getting paid for having a spoken part. That was your decision. But after a grueling 35.3 miles around the M60, fighting off the darkest and most evil spirits known as traffic, traversing the highest of tell-wall viaducts in the land, single-handedly circumnavigating the treacherous and tortuous sinister Simister Island whilst fending off the myriad of middle-lane morons, who will reign as the M60 supreme ruler? I don't know, actually. I can't see a Stunt Double car. Have I won? I can't take this anticipation. I'm stuck at a red light. Here we go, here we go. Have I won? Have I won? I've won! Yes! Take that, Stunt Double! Yeah! Winner! Here he comes. There's the loser. Well, there we go. There is the loser, and for once I actually win one of these things. So, which way around the M60 is fastest? Well, it turns out going in junction number order is. So, now we know. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Yes! I won!